What do we have? So people don't have access to a phase 1 unit. What are the big next comer trials that are going on right now? What are the next agents that people are looking at for patients with pancreas cancer? Philip, can you tell us about some of those?
Joanna, I remember in ASCO last year in June, there was a presentation of a drug called pegylated hyaluronidase, which is the human recombinant form. So basically, you have the cancer cells in the pancreas, and all of us know when you look under the microscope, there's a lot of dense stroma there. But also there's this matrix, which is like a shell, it's like a turtle shell around protecting the cancer cells. So when you give the chemotherapy, and this is a simplistic way of explaining it, but that's really what it is. When you give chemotherapy, getting into those cancer cells to kill is a problem. And we've known that for a long time. And the blood vessels get also compressed because of that. So this drug, which dissolves the hyaluronan, and you can measure its expression in the tumors, allows the blood vessels to open up. And there is preclinical evidence from 2 very good experiments done by 2 very highly regarded scientists and published in high impact factor journals that showed that it works when you combine with chemotherapy, again in pancreatic cancer. So that went into pilot trials, and now there are a couple of randomized phase 2 trials. One of them I'm involved with at the SWOG, combining FOLFIRINOX with the drug, and there's a study done nationally, again, combining gemcitabine with the drug. And the presentation last year in June by Sunil Hingorani indicated that with few patient numbers, still the study is ongoing, and we need more mature data, that the combination of the drug plus gemcitabine doubled, in fact, the time to progression, doubled the response rate in patients who had overexpression of the hyaluronan. And the company has really worked very fast in developing a validated assay for it, immunohistochemistry. And also there are plans, in fact, there's a protocol out there, which is, I received it as an invitation to join the phase 3 trial in patients who have only elevated level of expression, combining the drug versus paclitaxel gemcitabine as control. So that, at this point in time, is of a lot of interest for us. Not only because I'm involved in the other trial, but simply the data so far have shown interest. Now, we have to do the phase 3 trial. We can't use it without, in fact, we can't use it. It's not available for us. But we have to do the phase 3 trial.
Well, I think it has the added benefit that you have to use Lovenox to reduce some of the arterial or venous events. So I think most of the trials now are using 1 milligram per kilogram BID Lovenox, which is actually a therapeutic dose to help reduce some of those events. Yeah. And I'm glad to hear that you can't pronounce hyaluronan either.
I find it very difficult, believe me. I call it HA.
Just say hyaluronic acid, so maybe you can
I have to present this.
Those guys in Seattle, they drink a lot of coffee, they say it fast.
I'm a coffee addict. Yeah.
And then really quickly, tumor inflammation, the JAK inhibitors, I think we're waiting on readout there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the real promise there is that you can maybe influence symptomatology with these drugs by reducing inflammation in these high CRP patients. You may, in fact, make them feel better. They may have less fatigue, less anorexia, and so you may be influencing their disease in a symptomatic fashion, as well as maybe enhancing the responses. So I think that's a really interesting way of treating the disease.
And we're also seeing some anti-cachexia agents coming forward, and those, I know, I don't want to keep saying his name, Tony Saab, but he's got some interesting data with the HiDAC inhibitor that he presented, so that'll also be helpful.
So certainly, who would have ever thought we'd have treatment options to discuss for patients with pancreas cancer? I mean, and there would be controversy about what to use when. I mean, finally we're able to sequence. And if you really look at it, we've probably doubled survival for patients with metastatic disease over the last couple of years. So that's very impressive, and hopefully we'll be translating that into curing more patients. Huge area for research, very exciting area, lots of clinical trials that are available. PanCan also has a clinical trials matching service for patients, so that's also very nice if you have patients that are looking for studies. And really,